Man, I was addicted to self-improvement, and that shit was keeping me stuck. Like I'd wake up every single morning, listen to a podcast while getting ready, drive to work, another podcast. Lunch break, I'm scrolling through self-improvement content on Instagram. I get home, watch YouTube videos about discipline, productivity, success. Before bed, read a book about mindset. And I did this every single day for years. And I wasn't getting anywhere. And here's what took me way too long to realize. I was using self improvement content as a substitute for actually improving. Like, I knew what I had to do. I didn't need another video telling me to wake up early, hit the gym, eat clean, build a business. I knew all of that shit. I'd watched hundreds of videos on it, read dozens of books. I could teach a course on discipline and productivity, but I wasn't doing any of it because consuming content about change felt like changing, but it wasn't. It was just entertainment disguised as progress. I remember this one day, I was sitting at my desk, broke as hell, scrolling through YouTube, and I found this video. I think it was called "How to Build a Six-Figure Business in 90 Days." And as you would, being in my position, I clicked on it, even though I'd already watched like the same videos on the exact same topic, that week, like five of them. And while I'm watching it, I'm nodding along, like, yeah, I should do that. That makes sense. Yeah, I need to implement this immediately. And then the video ends, and I click on the next one, Seven Habits of Highly Successful People. And I watch that one too, taking mental notes, feeling productive. And then I realize it's been 3 hours. 3 hours of watching videos about how to be productive. And I didn't do a single productive thing. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't learning anymore. I was procrastinating. I was using self improvement content as, the same way someone uses Netflix, just numbing out, avoiding the actual work. And here's the crazy part. I felt like I was doing something because I was learning. I was taking notes. I was investing in myself. But none of it was actually translating into action, into results. I knew what to do. I just wasn't doing it. And the more content I consumed, the worse it got because now I had analysis paralysis. I'd seen so many different strategies, so many different approaches, and I didn't know which one to actually follow. So I just kept researching, kept watching videos, kept reading books, just waiting for the perfect strategy to reveal itself, which it never did. So if you're in the same spot right now, here's what nobody tells you. Information without action is just entertainment. You don't need more content. You need to stop consuming and start doing. The knowledge that you already have, it's enough. You're not missing information, you're just missing execution. You see, I was using self improvement content the same way people use Netflix to numb out, to avoid the actual work, and it felt productive because I was learning, but I wasn't changing. So, what changed for me now? I went cold turkey, deleted YouTube off my phone, unsubscribed from all the podcasts, stopped reading self improvement books. I just cut it all off. And the first week, it felt weird. Not gonna lie, it felt out of place because I didn't know what to do with myself anymore. Like I'd wake up, reach for my phone, try to put a podcast on, and then remember I couldn't. So I just sat there in silence, and shit was uncomfortable because when you remove the content, all you're left with is yourself. And then you realize how much you've been actually avoiding doing the work. But here's what happened. Without all that noise, I started doing things. Small things at first. Like instead of watching a video about morning routines, I just made my bed. Instead of listening to a podcast about fitness, I just went for a walk. Instead of reading a book about building a business, I just posted a video. And look, none of it was perfect. None of it was optimal, but it was real progress. And that's when I realized the problem wasn't that I didn't know enough. The problem was that I knew too much. I'd consumed so much content that I was paralyzed by too many options. I thought I needed the perfect strategy, the perfect plan, the perfect momentum to get the wheels spinning, to get the ball rolling. But it didn't. I just needed to start with what I already knew. So here's what I learned. Self-improvement content is useful until it becomes a substitute for actually improving. And for most people, it crosses that line way earlier than they think. So if you're watching videos about discipline but not waking up on time, if you're reading books about fitness but you're not actually training, if you're consuming content about building a business but not posting, well, you're not learning, you're just procrastinating. And I get it because consuming content feels productive. It feels like you're doing something, you're taking notes, you're learning, you're investing in yourself. But none of that matters if you're not executing. You see, information without action is just entertainment. And here's what's uncomfortable. You probably already know enough to make progress. You don't need another video. You don't need another book. You don't need another course. You need to stop consuming and start doing. Because the knowledge that you already have, it's enough. You're not missing information, you're missing execution. And the only way to fix that is to stop learning and start doing. So if you're stuck and you've watched all the videos, you've read the books, you've listened to all the podcasts, and you're still not moving forward, it's probably not because you don't know enough. It's because you know too much. And you've been using content as a way to avoid doing the work, avoid doing the hard shit. You see, I did that for years, for too long. And the moment I stopped consuming and started doing, things changed. Not because I got smarter, but because I stopped waiting to be ready. You already know what to do. You're just not doing it. So anyways, I was actually experienced this not too long ago. That's why I thought I'd bring it up with you guys. But I hope you guys found this valuable. If it hit, give it a like, give it a comment, share it with a brother who's gone through it. And let me know what topics you want me to talk about next. I read all the comments. And again, this channel is for the guys who know they're capable of more, who know they have potential, but they just can't grab it, they can't extract that full potential out of them. This is for those guys, the ones who know they're ready for more, the ones who don't want to waste their second chance. Appreciate you guys, as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.